What is up, YouTube? It's your girl Evelyn, and today we are diving into some of the best and worst lesbian releases of 2024 so far. Also, at the end of this video, I'll go over the very few queer lady releases that are coming out this month, so make sure to stick around for those. And quick spoiler alert, I won't be spoiling every movie in this video, but I will be spoiling a couple of them.
And if you wonder if I hate you,
we're kicking things off with my least favorite lesbian movie of the year, which is such a shame because this film is also the gayest movie on the list. Like, there is a surprising amount of sapphic sex in this movie, which I did enjoy. I just didn't enjoy the rest of it.
Don't call me Curly.
And your name, Curly?
My name is Curly. We just met. It's too familiar.
Have you ever been to Tallahassee?
No, I got good sense.
Drive Away Dolls follows Jamie and Marion, who are complete opposites, but somehow the best of friends. And on their way to Tallahassee for bird watching, they end up involved in the dumbest criminal cover-up you could imagine. And then wacky lesbian shenanigans ensue. And there is nothing I love more than wacky lesbian shenanigans. Bottoms loved it. Debs also loved it. Booksmart, fantastic. And while Drive Away Dolls succeeds at being super silly, it does not succeed at being super funny, or funny at all. The main characters are incredibly underdeveloped, and I know they're supposed to be caricatures, but Jamie's accent is a crime.
Worst thing I'd ever heard.
She also acts like a teenage boy who's in the middle of puberty. Not to mention, the romance felt unearned and kind of fanfiction adjacent. And look, while I do appreciate this movie's existence and how incredibly queer it is, it just wasn't my cup of tea. Now, this next show stars two of my favorite actresses, one of whom is queer in real life, and the other of whom I desperately wish was queer in real life. And the rest of the cast is a who's who of comedy professionals. But the show itself is just meh.
This is Glurg. Hello. This is Glurg's lump, and this is the smiley face we drew on Glurg's lump to make it less terminal looking.
The second best hospital in the galaxy follows Sleech and Clack, aka Stephanie Shu and Kiki Palmer, who are complete opposites but somehow the best of friends. Clack is the queer, and she spends most of the season lusting after an androgynous fuckboy spider thingy voiced by Sam Smith. And basically, the show is kind of like a super gross version of House meets Rick and Morty, and to be fair, this isn't an outright bad show. Some of it's really funny and well done, specifically the storyline with Clack and her anxiety. But at the end of every episode, I had to force myself to watch the next one. None of the hospital shenanigans were all that interesting, and with the exception of Clack, neither were any of the characters.
almost made you happy, babe. Didn't I?
Now, this next movie is far from great, but it's also far from bad. I can definitively say that this movie is okay.
I feel like there's something going on here.
You call it art, but it's no.
Yeah.
Am I Okay follows Lucy and Jane, who are kind of opposites, but also the best of friends.
I think I'm noticing a pattern.
And at the age of 32, our girl Lucy realizes that she's gay, and lesbian dating shenanigans ensue. Now, I did cover Am I Okay over on Patreon, so if you want a more in-depth review, you might want to check that out. But basically, this movie feels like a very light snack. The plot is so slight, it's practically invisible. Also, this is a friendship movie, which is fine. I have nothing against friendship movies, but it should have been a rom-com. I'm just saying, the friends to lovers trope was laying right there the whole time. If I didn't love musicals the way I do, this next show might have ended up in the just no category. But again, I really love musicals.
There's something that I've been dying to say.
Has-Been Hotel is a hotel located in hell and run by Lucifer's incredibly sweet and kind-hearted daughter Charlie. So that's
Blasphemous.
Charlie has a girlfriend named Vaggie, a no-nonsense, hard-boiled soldier type, so, you know, the opposite of Charlie.
We come together as opposites attract.
And there's a lot more to the plot, but essentially the point of the hotel is to rehabilitate demons so they can go to heaven, thereby avoiding a yearly mass slaughter perpetrated by angels.
Blasphemous.
As I said before, Has-Been Hotel is a musical, so if you're a fan of Disney songs and Broadway numbers, you'll probably like the music because that's essentially what the music is. As for the show itself, the first 3 episodes are a bit rough, but by the end of episode 5, I was into Has-Been Hotel. Well, mostly. This next film is yet another raunchy teen comedy involving lots of bodily fluids and almost fucking a family member.
Do you know how much of my college fund I spent on 2 dresses, lashes, shoes? I got a Brazilian Hannah. I don't even know what that is. Did you know you have hair in your asshole? It is f***ed up down there.
Prom Dates is about 2 best friends, Jess and Hannah, who have one night only to find prom dates, or else nothing, actually. There are literally no stakes in this movie, but that's okay because it's meant to be a silly, generic teen comedy, and that's exactly what it is. Although I will say Hannah has a lovely little coming out storyline that I thought was really well executed. We also get to see her lust after the hot queer person at her school, and other than the terrible pacing, I think Prom Dates was fine, if not wholly forgettable.
I'm feeling myself, I'm feeling myself, I'm feeling my...
This next movie turned out to be nothing like I expected, but still pretty decent.
6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. See how easy she's making that look? You're making it look hard.
Backspot follows Riley, a junior cheerleader with perfectionist tendencies, who, along with her girlfriend Amanda, are chosen to join an elite cheer squad. But Riley's new coach is even more of a perfectionist than Riley, and it's not long before our girl Riley begins to crumble under the pressure. Now, based on the trailer, I was expecting a high-octane, super gritty sports thriller along the lines of The Novice, but Backspot is actually a very, very slow burn coming-of-age character study, which is fine, just not what I expected. And while I do think the story was lacking and there were entirely too many f***ing cheerleading montages,
All kind of looks the same to me.
the acting was fantastic. And my favorite thing about the film is Riley and Amanda's relationship, because it is rare to see young Sapphic love depicted in the way it's depicted in this film, as joyful and sweet and wholesome and affectionate without being exploitative. Backspot might not be perfect, but it's a decent movie and well worth watching, in my opinion. I know I'm gonna get tarred and feathered for my next pick, but
Velma, climb up first so you can look at my skirt. Nice try, but that was my plan. Also, this is my one chance to kill him, so get out of here.
at this point, I have fully accepted that I am part of the 0.1% of people who like the show Velma.
And I won't apologize for that.
That being said, I have to admit, I was a bit disappointed by Velma and Daphne's season 2 romance.
If you could call it that.
The thing is, once your 2 main characters get together, it's hard to keep things fresh and interesting. In fact, I think something similar happened with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy in season 3 of Harley Quinn. But even still, Velma's second season was, it was fine. This next film just might be the strangest movie on the entire list. And if it's not the strangest, it's definitely the bloodiest. Love Lies Bleeding is a freaky thriller set in the 80s about the whirlwind romance between gym manager Lou and aspiring bodybuilder Jackie. Unfortunately, our girl Jackie runs afoul of Lou's crime boss father, and murderous shenanigans ensue. Now, I'll be completely honest, I assumed Love Lies Bleeding was gonna be some artsy bullshit because, K-Stu tends towards artsy bullshit.
No tea, no shade.
Not to mention, the film's director, Rose Glass, also directed Saint Maud, which was artsy bullshit adjacent.
I'm kidding.
So I was pleasantly surprised that like 90% of the movie was totally grounded. But seriously, I very much enjoyed Love Lies Bleeding and highly recommend you check it out if you haven't already, and it will finally be available to stream July 9th on Max. I knew I was going to love this next film the moment I watched its trailer. And now that I've finally watched the movie, turns out
I was right.
Auntie?
Rocky,
I'm going to Grandpa's.
Rocky, it's all right. No, just let me talk to her for a minute.
couldn't warn me they were coming.
There's a court order from the state.
Broke it! Broke it!
Fancy Dance tells the story of Jax, a queer Native American woman searching for her missing sister while caring for her 13-year-old niece. But our girl Jax has a criminal past and criminal present. She likes to steal cars, a lot.
Insurance fraud today.
Now, I'll be honest, I am very biased when it comes to Fancy Dance because so you might not love Fancy Dance as much as I did, but I was fully crying by the final scene.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
The last two shows are hands down my favorite releases of 2024. And even though both of these shows feature queer lady characters, they're not the gayest of all the releases, but they are just so damn good.
I'm Gloria, and I love performing almost as much as I love boys. Because I like how men's bodies are flat, and then there's a tube.
Is your dad making you work or something?
Yeah, he said if I don't drive simple, dickless pissheads around, he's going to send me to Iraq to marry my cousin.
Oh no, that's awful.
We Are Lady Parts and Girls 5 Eva are both shows about lady-only bands, and I really wanted to highlight them because they're both on the knife's edge of either getting another season or being canceled, especially when it comes to We Are Lady Parts, because it's still on Peacock TV, and let's be honest, nobody has Peacock TV because Peacock TV is
fucking horrible.
I subscribed just to watch We Are Lady Parts, and I couldn't cancel fast enough.
It's literally my worst nightmare.
Now, I've already talked on this channel about Girls 5 Eva. It's funny, it's silly, it's the type of show that will put a smile on your face no matter what. It's on Netflix and I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't already. But I really want to focus on We Are Lady Parts, which is a show about a Muslim punk band, and it may be the most fun show I have watched all year. It is hilarious and heartwarming and unique. I feel like I've never seen anything quite like this show before, not to mention the music. Now, you really just need to experience the music for yourself.
Am I close too tight? Do I laugh too much? You say I'm not polite, I say I'm sorry if I scare you, I scare myself too. I scare myself. What am I to lie then? You got my head strong. Got your email, Jimmy, you sent it at night. You expect a response, but I'm tucked in tight.
So this show is definitely an ensemble cast, although Amina is arguably the main character, and she is very much not gay. But there are like 2, maybe 2.5 episodes where the queer band member Aisha is featured more prominently. And I know I am simping super hard for We Are Lady Parts, but it is so good and deserves more seasons. Now here are the 4 gay-ish things that are coming out this month. On July 2nd, Netflix is dropping Sprint, the world's fastest humans, which is a behind-the-scenes docuseries about the world's fastest humans, one of whom, Sha'Carri Richardson, happens to be family. Over on Paramount Plus, there's a brand new Melissa Etheridge docuseries called I Am Not Broken, but it's not your typical rockumentary. It's actually about 5 songs Melissa wrote that were inspired by letters she received from incarcerated women. And in the documentary, Melissa visits the Topeka Correctional Facility in Kansas and tells the stories of some of the women there. Melissa Etheridge, I Am Not Broken premieres July 9th over on Paramount Plus. On July 18th, Those About to Die drops on Peacock. The series seems to be about Rome. Also, there are ladies kissing in the trailer. And last but not least, The Decameron premieres July 25th on Netflix. It's about an orgy gone wrong in 1348.
Sure, why not?
That is it for the video. I want to give a quick shout out to my newest patron, Celia St. James. I also have to shout out my Big Spender patrons, Angel, Mary, Angie, JC, Lucia, and Kappa. And to my patrons, be on the lookout this month for videos about both Drift and Backspot, in addition to my ongoing coverage of Blank the Series.
It's not right, but it's so.
As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.